I get depressed because I feel disconnected from people. You know what I mean? If you don't know what I mean, that's what I mean. I don't know if it's like my personality, the way that I look at things, or the things that I've read that makes it harder for me to interact with people. I don't think you should read, by the way. This is just, I'm gonna put that out there. And if I've learned anything from reading, it's don't read. It doesn't help you. You just learn shit nobody knows, and now you can't talk about it. Can't like bring it up at a party. You sound insane. You ever try to bring up a book you read at a party? You sound nuts. You know what you sound like? You sound like Copernicus must have sounded in the 16th century. You ever think about that? Copernicus was the first person who figured out that the Earth rotated around the sun. Before him, they thought the Earth was the center of the universe. He's like, no, guys, the Earth rotates around the sun. And everyone was like, you're an idiot. He was like, no, look, check it out. I proved it with math. And they're like, fuck off, wizard. And then he died alone. It's like, was that worth it, Nicholas? What kind of life was that? Were you happy? He should have just shut the fuck up and be like, yeah, fine, I don't care. The Earth is the center. Can I come to the barbecue? Like, I don't really care if I'm right and no one gets that. I'd rather be appreciated by people who are here while I'm alive. You ever read a book by one of those famous, like ahead of their time, genius, dead authors, and you read the book now and you're like, oh, these are good points about life. I feel less alone. Yeah, good for you. They didn't feel that. They wrote that book ostracized, just frantic in the woods, like, I hope somebody's out there! Oh! Is everybody crazy or am I? And then they die not knowing. And then 200 years later, you find that scribbled book in a Barnes & Noble, like, oh, these are good points. Go fuck yourself. Where were you when they needed you? That doesn't help them. It's easy to say Copernicus is a genius now, but would you have said it then when it was difficult? Would you have stuck up for him when it mattered, or would you have been like everyone else and been like, oh, look at that fancy moron, and then eaten whatever food they ate when they were being wrong? Which one would you be? I read a lot of Woods literature, manifestos. That's my favorite genre of book. I read the Unabomber Manifesto recently. I don't know if anyone checked that one out, but the Unabomber, if you don't remember, he mailed bombs to people from the woods, and he wrote a manifesto explaining his worldview. And he was like this math genius, so I was like, I wanted to know what he wrote, because I figured it was something smart and interesting, you know? So I got the book on Amazon, just boop, they sent it to me. It's kind of fun to get the Unabomber Manifesto in the mail. I read the book, and I learned it is really good. Uh-oh, like this is why you shouldn't read. Like, what do I do with that? I'm reading the book, I'm like, this is good. He makes good points. He talks about how technology itself is the problem. It deprives us of what he calls the power process. And I tell people, I'm like, you should read the book. And they're like, yeah, but didn't he murder people? And I'm like, yeah, but he had like a reason, and if you read the book, you start to see like what his, but it's like, no, I'm this guy? Like, you hear the shit coming out of my mouth? I don't want to be this guy. That's what reading turns you into, a Unabomber defender guy. That's not a fun guy. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be at a party and someone makes a joke like, hey, careful, you don't want to end up like the Unabomber, and I'm like, well, actually, It is an interesting thing to think about, though, the idea that technology itself is the problem, not just individual technologies. We don't really think about it that way. Like, there's a lot of different technologies that we have that we don't really contemplate whether or not they're helping our lives or hurting. Like, social media, I think, is a big one. Like, Facebook, I hate Facebook. I hate it. I hate it. I spend about 12 hours a day on it, but I don't like it. Nobody likes Facebook, right? Does anyone close out of that window like, wow, what a great session, and then start their day? No, everyone likes it. I feel myself hating it and becoming a worse person as I'm on it. Like, I'll scroll through, just like, fuck you. Eat shit. Die. Like, why do I keep going? I keep going back because I think I want to see one glimmer of hope for humanity. Some post that makes me go, yes, somebody gets it. I'm not alone on this planet, but it never comes. The news feed is just a bottomless pit of like wrong opinions and pictures of mediocre babies, and here's some asparagus I sauteed, and Oh, here's a BuzzFeed quiz. Like, which Ninja Turtle is your dick? Like, that's not even... Is it Raphael or is it... Who cares? Why am I here? And there's someone ranting about the president. Like, look what the president's trying to do with the tax budget. He's an idiot. He's running this country into the shitter. We should have went with the other guy. This president doesn't know what's going on. It's like, dude, he's the president. He doesn't do anything. He's just the face of the whole operation. The president is like the logo of the government. The election, they just let us change the mascot every 4 years. It's the same company you're mad about his tax proposal. That'd be like if the price of cereal went up and you got pissed off at Captain Crunch. Like, what is wrong with you? And then you took to Facebook like, oh, you see what the Crunch did this week? 60-cent excise on berries? That's bullshit. That's a war on the lower class. We should have went with Chocula. That guy's a man of the people. He supports local, organic, homegrown chocolate marshmallows, not this imported GMO Monsanto berry bullshit like the Captain Crunch is Hitler. Stupid shit.